Welcome back, everyone. Vinny, bringing out the first three.
First three? It's a new contract, or what?
Jurgen, first of all, Arsene Wenger says that Liverpool are title contenders and have an advantage with no European football. So, what are the aims for the season, the realistic aims, and with the arrival of the likes of Mourinho, Guardiola, and Conte at their respective clubs, how difficult will it be to realise those aims?
All three questions in one?
There's only one question.
I was thinking that. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, how everybody knows, Arsene Wenger is a very smart person, and it makes obviously sense to try to to bring a lot of names on the screen when we talk about title contenders or something like this. So yeah, I don't think it's we didn't play one game in the season and should think about this. I'm not sure that it would make sense. What I said about this is that we are not looking for excuses or something, that we really want to use our situation. What means there's absolutely nothing positive in being not involved in European football apart from having more time to train, and that's what we expect from ourselves to use, and this time. That's what we have to do. That's how it is, and that's the one thing. Actually, I forgot the rest of your question.
But also, as well, the likes of Mourinho, Guardiola, Conte,
yeah,
their respective clubs. Does it make your job more difficult to realise the aims of the season?
The best thing is we don't play, so I'm not sure. Neither Jose, I'm not sure that it would make a big difference, but especially with Conte and Guardiola, it would make a big difference if they could still play. And so that's the first thing. Of course, it's exciting for everybody, and having these big names in the league, that's clear. And but at the end, how you know if they all have only one target, only one aim, and that's winning the league, then there can be only one. Really be lucky, and then we can think about the answer now. What does that mean for all the others? They failed, or they did still a good job, or they did their best, or whatever. So I have no idea what it means. So we have to wait for this. But at the end, of course, it's in this moment, and it's England, and in England, managers obviously have a more in public a more special role than maybe in other countries, and so yeah, it's one part of the performance, but not more. And so we still all have to play, and we still all have to work, and it's not about the names of the other, it's all about the performance on the pitch. And so we have all a very good chance to do our best, and that's what I'm looking forward to, that I'm really excited about the opportunity to develop, about the opportunity to win something. I have no idea, first of all a game, and I would really prefer the next one. And then see what happens then, and we all will have problems in the season, and we all will have difficult moments in the season, and it's all about then finding solutions again. And that in this part, it's always the same job, only the problems are different, and so that's we have to be ready for solutions, and that's what we tried to prepare in this pre-season. And so we are what can I say? Until now, it was really okay. It was all more than okay, the pre-season. We had wonderful games, and wonderful moments, wonderful signs of the team, and a little bit less wonderful signs, of course, especially when you take the last game. But the last game is the most easy to explain, so we now have to make sure that we have the right answers for the first game, and not thinking about all the rest. But I said already, we want to fight for everything. That's what I mean when I say we are not watching out for excuses before we start. Maybe in the season we have to excuse one or the other thing and say, okay, this time it was not possible because of, but not from this point of view. In this moment, everything is possible, so we should try everything.
When you have all of your forwards fit, do you have an ideal strike force in mind, or is that something that you assess week by week depending on the opposition that you play?
That depends to the results we have, actually. So when everything is perfect, then it's how everything in football, then it's about timing. So when you are involved in the perfect game, and it looks like you can perform again in the next game, then it's a better position for the player who is involved. That's for sure. But it's not. I don't make decisions for 3-4 weeks in advance. So why should I? So I did the quality we have there, and there's obviously quality we have to use, and that's another challenge. So that the players who won't start, for example, that they still are confident and that still feel that they're an important part for our game, and their performance and shape is really important for us. And it's not. I don't have the feeling we don't care about them, and so that's all the job we have to do. But it's pretty unlikely that we will start with 4 or 5 strikers in one game, and so but if other players are injured, then maybe we have to think about this. That's how it is. But it's not in this moment. I have a clear idea how we want to start, but that's then only the start and nothing else.
And with that in mind as well, the options that you have up front, is that Benteke's future any clearer as regards a move to Crystal Palace? And are you still looking to bring in, and where are you looking to strengthen before the deadline?
First of all, what I can say about this, the transfer market, I didn't set the date. It's the 31st of August, and that's the date for everybody, 11 p.m., 31st of August, I think. And until then, you always have to be ready to react on different scenarios, and that's what we do, or what we did until now. And what I said before, it's Christian Benteke, Mario Balotelli, or all the other strikers. They are Danny Ings, all the other strikers. They are really, really, really good strikers. They don't miss anything of their qualities in the last year or half a year or something. No, it's the other way around. They improved in a lot of parts. But at the end, having 6 strikers is a little bit too comfortable, I would say. But it's still possible that if there is a, and that's what I said. If anybody thinks that because we have more than one striker, we make presents to other clubs, then that's the biggest misunderstanding in world football. We will not do this 100%. So we bring them all in the best shape we can, and they involved in different kinds of training. And so that's all what I can say about this. And everything can happen in the first game, in the second game, and until the 31st of August, I can change my mind if I want each second. I'm not actually the type of guy for this, but I could. And so we will wait what happens in these cases.
Jurgen, will this Liverpool starting this season be a far truer reflection of you than perhaps the team we saw last season, in terms of having the time to work with them, the time to change the squad as well?
Look, it's much better than it was in October, of course, because in October we had 10 days training. No, I had 6 days training with 7 players, and then 3 days, something like training with another 15. So, and then we played Tottenham, and it was not a perfect preparation for this game, of course. So now we had 3 weeks training, the first 3 weeks with a big number of players, and then all the players who were part of the Euros joined us, and then we had to start something like new, bring them all together, different fitness levels. That's a real challenge. And sometimes we had training in 3 different groups. One part we did together, the other part we had in 2 groups, the other part in 3 groups. So that's how it is. It's like all the other clubs, nearly all the other clubs had it. So it's not really, it's not an excuse. So it's only a fact. But having them all together for 6 weeks, that would have been a perfect pre-season. So, but now I think with 12, 13, 14 players, they were involved in a lot of sessions together. We could do a lot, and of course we expect from ourselves that we can see this in the first game, and that's a big difference. But then, especially when I came here in October, and I know that from your side it was very nice, but it was something like an excuse for me. That's not my team, and I never used it, not even for myself. It's not my fault. This player's here, this player. I enjoyed the work from the first day with this squad, and now then we said we won't change a lot, and now we made seven transfers, and we gave a few players on loan, sold a few players, so it happened a lot actually. But if you want, on the other hand side, it doesn't happen a lot, because we have still our basis from the last year, and that's why we hope that we can build on the base from last year. For this, always in the start of the season, you have to make a step back and you need to be ready to reach the level from the last year again, because it's not about wishing being on another level now. No, it's about working on it. And it's unfortunately, football is not like riding a bike. It's not like you learn it once and then you will never forget it. So you have to work together again, and you have to work on the details again. And of course we will, and we can, and we will improve in the season. But in this moment, we're in a much better position than we have been on the 2nd of July when we started training. But we have still a lot of work to do. But it's not important, because now it's only important how good we can be in the first game against Arsenal. And what I saw until now from their pre-season games, and what I know about Arsenal, what I know about Arsene Wenger, is that we need to be really good to have a chance there to take something.
Do you have more of a chance because of their defensive problems at the moment? It doesn't look like they've got any fit first choice centre backs, for example.
That's why I have no idea exactly what they will do. Maybe because Henry can play or something like this, and they have withholding and a few other guys last year. I think Real played 1 or 2 times on centre half, then they can play. Then Gibbs can play fullback. So defense problems, if they have. But actually, I think it's the same. Maybe they will bring in a few other players in, and then Koscielny's back in 1, 2, 3 weeks, or this week, I don't know. And then the problems are not that big anymore. But defense problems only play a role in the game when the other team is really strong and offensive. And it's not because nearly all Sanchez played, Oxlade-Chamberlain. Yeah, they have a lot of Gasola, a lot of wonderful players for their offensive play, and it's only one game, and it's not they have to play with this team the whole season, or we have to play with this team the whole season. Then we could talk about advantages or not. For this one game, plays not a big role. But if we would make the first and main mistake, if we want to make it, then we think about if there are defensive problems. So we didn't think a second about this. We only think about our play and our game, and what we saw in the games which we saw from them in the preseason, how their style of plays, how they defend, how they attack. We know about Arsenal usually is a football playing team. When they played last time against us, it was a lot of long balls, always Giroud, second ball Özil. It caused us a lot of problems in this game when they played 3-3 in the last second, if you want. So that's what we think about, and not what kind of problems they could have.
You had 2 great cup runs last season, but in league terms, will the key this season be consistency, and trying to get 3, 4, 5 victories together in a row a number of times during a season? Will that be what you need to do to improve in league terms?
I hope you are not surprised that the answer is yes. Consistency is the only way to be successful. So all these big jumps in performance up and down doesn't help really. It's still possible because we are all human beings and things can happen, but it should not happen too often. It's right, and consistency is the way we have to choose, of course. And for this we have to prepare always the next game very serious during the week. And being at 100% when we start, because we have a lot of things to do, but the main thing we have to do is at the weekend, most of the time at the weekend, winning games, and for this you need always to be in the best shape you can be. So yeah, that's a big challenge.
Can you coach consistency in a way? Because really, you can only really look at one game at a time. So is it a mental thing? Does it come from confidence from the last result?
Yeah, different things have influence on consistency, of course. The style of play, the shape, or the injury situation. There's a lot of things, but I think the biggest advantage Leicester had last year was not that they don't have to play that many games, because they could have had injuries with less games, but they could play nearly the whole season with the same team. That helps if it's good. And the team was obviously good, and they came in a flow or in a run, whatever, and so they had it. But there are different ways to be successful, and at the end, to moan about a situation is the first thing we should not do. And if you have injuries, you have to take the situation like it is. If you lost the last game, you have to take this. You have to use this defeat. If you have won the last game, you have to use it, and all of this is difficult. It's not because it's Premier League, and your own shape is only one thing. What's important? Shape of the other team is pretty important too, and so that's what we try to do in the preseason, to be more independent from the style of play of the other team. If they defend deep, well, we cannot change. We cannot say, come on, it's boring. Give us a little bit space to play. So if they play only counter-attacking, if they play high pressure, all that stuff, you need to have always a solution. That's what we were working on, and. In general, and now in this week, we thought about the things we have to do, especially in the Arsenal game.
Jurgen, how is that injury situation, particularly down Sturridge and James Milner?
Yeah. So, thank God with Mill it's not too serious. So when we saw him walking out of the stadium last Saturday on crutches, it was really millions crutches is nearly something you cannot bring together, because how we say in Germany, he usually would walk with one leg under his arms. So but then on Sunday was better, on Monday was better. It's better and better and better, but it's a bruise in the heel, and how I said, when Mili says it's a little bit too painful, then for sure it's not to accept for all the rest of the squad. So we have to wait for the moment. But we could test it each day. We could have tested yesterday. We could test it tomorrow. In this moment, I'm not sure when we should really test it. If you ask Mili, it was last Sunday. So we have to. We don't have to ask him, so we have to wait a little bit. But it's possible still that he can be involved at the weekend, but not sure. With Daniel, he made yesterday something like a clearing session with his issues. Obviously now he could be involved today in team training, but that's the same. He missed a lot of sessions in his preseason. He started later, and then he missed a few sessions in his preseason, and so we have to make a decision what we do with him. If we use the next 3, 4, 5 days again for how I said, for a few players the preseason will be longer than until the first Premier League game. So because they have not enough time, and if you have not enough time and miss a few sessions, then I think it would make sense that you extend the preseason for these players. That's what we have to think about. We'll make a final decision about this, and have to see. But obviously yesterday it was good, so he could train today 100%, and after press conference I will make a decision which kind of training it will be.
Other questions from that side of the room? Brilliant. Okay, we're going to go to the break. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.